Ah, that's true. Used to work over there. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Sue does that.
Sue does that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said she has
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you
I'll
do
that.
this.
Sue will do that.
Sue does this. I
Okay.
do this.
I'll just come up for
Yeah. When we're singing the kids back, because right after time for all.
right. Yeah. Responses.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they start singing the kids back.
Okay. Awesome.
Good morning. That intro little chime, I know it's not the actual Mr. Rogers theme, but like it always kind of puts me in that mind of coming in to see the late great Mr. Rogers introduce us to his neighborhood. But good morning. And welcome to Westside Unitarian Universalist Church, where compassion leads us to work for justice and equality. I know we do have some seats up front. I promise we don't do crowd work or call on anybody, so feel free to come up front. We're glad you're visiting with us today, and it is my hope that you will find something here that nourishes your heart, feeds your mind, and grows your spirit. I am Tanner Trask, pronouns he, him, Westside's minister in training. Be you a spiritual seeker, an atheist, or a theist, Westside is a community of many beliefs, genders, and sexualities, a community of diverse cultural, racial, and class backgrounds, a community of various abilities and gifts. Some here find inspiration in the great books, others in the great outdoors, and others still in great conversations. The great books are going to be out there in the library, the great outdoors are going to be out there in the gardens, and the great conversation will be by the coffee pot in the fellowship hall. So whoever you may be, all are welcome in our inclusive congregation. And to newcomers and old friends alike, together we say, welcome. Here at Westside, we are raising the next generation of Unitarian Universalists, and we want them to know that they're an important part of our religious community. Several years ago, we chose to be an intergenerational congregation and include all family members in our services, so welcome to children and youth of all ages. And I'm going to invite our worship associate, Carol Kappa, up here to get us started.
And good morning, everybody. So there are a number of announcements included in your order of service, 2 or 3 different pages, a lot going on. If you don't have much in your own personal social calendar at home, we've got stuff for you here today. So take a look at those, take them home, put them on your refrigerator to remind you. We have this Save the Date page with lots of things happening this Sunday after church. It says there's a youth and families lunch gathering. And of course, next Sunday we have Dr. Russell Elvin will be speaking via his video sermon, and if you want to come to sing some new hymns and learn some songs, Linda Ice and Yuki will be here at 9:30 next Sunday to meet with you. And then coming up pretty soon in November 16th is Bring a Friend to Westside with a big potluck luncheon, so be sure you've got that on your calendar and come join us. All right, I was asked to make one quick announcement. It's the first Sunday. Westside Outside will be at Oakmont Park, South Trailhead, for an evening hike on a paved trail. 5:30 is when it starts, and you can talk to Jana Kennard or Roxanne Jones for more information. Would y'all stand or raise your hand real quick so people can, there you go. So if you want to hike at 5:30, talk to those. All right. We have a large number of visitors at Westside recently, and we welcome each of you to our community. Later during our service, we will be having a new member ceremony for those who have recently decided to join Westside. And we're really excited about that. Becoming a member at Westside is very simple. It just requires the signing of your signature in our membership book. But while joining is easy, there are responsibilities of membership here. And to learn more about our congregation or our beliefs, please feel free to ask questions of those with whom you speak with in conversation after the service in the fellowship hall, or members of our welcome team, or by contacting our minister, Tanner Trask. For those of you joining us online or visiting with us today, if you are not already on our mailing list, please sign up by clicking the link at the bottom of our westsideu.org website. And for those of you here now in person with us, please don't forget and take a moment and silence all your devices. This morning, the reflection is called How to Destroy a Democracy, and it will be shared by Tanner Trask. And he says that it seems like today everyone is trying to take our democracy apart, and so he is going to talk to us about putting together a plan of our own. And now, I invite you to take a nice big deep breath, and from wherever you are, settle into this sacred space that we create. And let us worship together as we listen to this morning's prelude. And Yuki has asked to swap those, and her prelude this morning is the offertory that was in your bulletin, Castanets by William Gillog, and performed by Dr. Yuki Kumamoto. Thank you, Yuki. All right. Our opening words today are Invocation for a Congregation by Gary Kowalski. I like congregational meetings more than any other facet of church life, more than the worship or music or potlucks. These exercises in democratic decision-making go to the heart of our religious heritage. The right of the members to assemble and deliberate and vote on their spiritual affairs grows out of that same New England tradition that produced town meetings, where neighbors still gather each year to elect their councils and school boards and practice the sometimes difficult art of self-rule. Thomas Jefferson, whom we claim as one of the forerunners of our liberal faith, called town meeting the wisest invention ever devised by the wit of man for the perfect exercise of self-government and for the preservation. But of course, Jefferson was from Virginia and probably never attended one. John Adams, another Unitarian from Massachusetts, was better acquainted with the often messy realities of both town and congregational meetings. In the parish of Braintree, where he grew up, these gatherings could become so heated that early in the 18th century, a rule was passed to stop people from standing up in their pews and shouting at one another. I don't think we've done that here before. Vigorous debate is essential to democracy, and fireworks are certainly a part of our revolutionary tradition. So as we gather this morning, let there be a free and unhampered exchange of ideas, questions, and opinions. Democracy is not supposed to be tame or tidy or tepid. But as we speak and as we listen, let us also remember this honorable legacy we're privileged to uphold and carry on. A heritage that goes back to the founders of our nation and the founders of our Unitarian faith. Let us be worthy of the standards of tolerance, reason, and civility they embodied and envisioned. And so now, let us worship together. As do many Unitarian Universalist congregations, we begin our time together this morning with the lighting of the chalice. I would like to invite Gwen Genius to light our chalice this morning. The chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith and represents the Unitarian Universalist Association, or the UUA. The flaming chalice symbolizes the heritage of our past, the warmth of community, and the light of hope within this church today. You've seen Gwen in all manner of things, but she said she's never lit the chalice today, so, so this is her first time. No, there we go. Okay. Yay, thank you. Come here.
My last name is not what you think. Okay. Our chalice lighting words this morning are "A Spark of Hope" by Melanie Davis. If ever there was a time for a candle in the darkness, I think my two. Okay. This would be it. using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. Our opening hymn is number 1000 in the teal hymnal, Morning Has Come. Please stand if you are able and so moved, and join our song leader, Jennifer Brown. Okay.
Good morning. We're going to do all 3 verses. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
Y'all sound great. Please remain standing now and join me in our affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to work for justice through action, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. And now, it's that time. Please come forward if you are young at heart or would like to have a close-up view of our Time for All Ages, presented by our Director of Lifetime Religious Education, none other than the unmistakable and very exciting Nikki Kennedy. And afterwards, we will sing the children back to their seats with number 402? 402, From You I Receive, in the gray hymnal.
Morning. It has been a busy, hopping morning around here, and I am so elated to see you guys. Okay, Rusty, I'm going to need a little space to put something right here, okay? Thank you. I know you like to come up here and sit. Good morning, friends. I'm happy to see your faces. How are you today? Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle. Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle. Okay, cool. Cool, that's cool. That's very, very cool. Well, today I brought something that I want to share with you guys, and we're going to do a little building, if you will, and I'm going to make some noise for a second. Maybe after this. That is a great question. So, Westside is an exciting place. It's exciting and it's beautiful because of each one of you that are here today, and they're a part of this community. We are a covenantal community, which means we covenant with each other to be the best we can be. We covenant promises with each other and to each other about how we will be for each other and how we will be with each other. Covenants are helpful all the time. They are especially helpful when we are experiencing challenges, such as times of conflict or times when a congregation is growing or shrinking. Covenants are also helpful when we are choosing to deepen a meaningful commitment, like when we adopted the 8th principle. Covenanting and revisiting the covenant can be a good thing to do at this time, in this place. And all those times, covenants are like loving, active scaffolding. Now, some of you may be familiar with the word scaffold or scaffolding. Can anybody tell me what it is? Mia, please. It's stability for building things. Excellent. Thank you. Yes, Rusty. It is in Minecraft. Absolutely. These connections are important. It is in Minecraft, Rusty. You are correct. How many of you know Minecraft? How many people play? Adults, don't be shy. I know. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. So I'm going to build something with some Jenga blocks. I'm going to build a little something, and let's see what happens. And I know I'm going to flip it over. How many of you have ever played Jenga? Do you know what Jenga is? It's blocks you use to stack on each other. And the goal is to build a really tall tower. And I tried to figure out how to build a really tall tower before I came in here, but every time I tried, guess what? It fell. Do you know why it fell?
Because you pulled the wrong one.
Because I pulled the wrong one. That's one reason it can fall. It wasn't structurally sound. That's true. Why else would it have fallen when I was, not right now. Why else might it have fallen? Why? No. Why else might it have fallen when I was trying to walk in here? Lack of scaffolding. That's right. So I have different sizes of things. Some of these blocks are big and some of them are small. Some of them they're just, not right now, buddy. They're all different sizes, right? So, Rusty, can you sit down a minute for me? Thank you. So, let's see. If I take a couple of blocks off the top, this is a triangle. But if I take a couple of blocks off the top, I know, it's for a point. So hang on, and we're going to get there. I know y'all are really excited. I can see there's all this anticipation. So if I take some blocks and they start rubbing next to each other, what happens? They fall. Did it affect the bottom too much when those two were doing that? No? Okay, so what if I take, oh look, every time I try to move this one, what's happening? Oh, I am destroying it. So that middle one is important in that space, isn't it? What if I wanted to add something that doesn't really fit? If I put this triangle on the top, can I really add these around it? I mean, not kinda, but then how do I get taller? It doesn't really fit like that. Well, what if we start shaking the bottom? What if we start shaking the bottom? What if we're shaking the foundation in which this scaffolding is on? What's going to happen?
It looks like it was kind of.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's going to happen? Yeah. It did. It fell apart, didn't it? Because you know why? Why did it fall apart?
Because you were shaking.
Because I was shaking it. That's true. But why did it? Because I was shaking it. But what else? Like, what if I shake something else? Is it going to fall apart if I shake something else? No. Why did it shake? Because it didn't have a good foundation. Because I was moving the foundation. The foundation wasn't set. It wasn't firm, was it? So here's the cool thing. Sometimes, thank you, Rusty, sometimes we can take new things and add to it, right? So this isn't a Jenga tower anymore. Could we make a racetrack with it? Yeah. Could we maybe build a house with it? Could we build a house for maybe some frogs with it?
No.
Well, I mean, we could. You may not like to, but we could build a house for some frogs with it. Yeah, the frogs would really like it. There's some frogs in our garden. So here's the thing. It takes all of us to keep the foundation sturdy, right? The foundation may move just a little bit, but together we get to keep it balanced. It's up to all of us to keep this foundation firm and to keep it steady, for us to all live into our covenant, for us to help each other, for us to encourage each other, for us to teach each other and learn together. And we get to create new things. We get to add things to our covenant. We get to change. But we all get to hold each other accountable. So I hope as we continue to explore what it is to be Westside Unitarian Universalist Church in Fort Worth, Texas, that each one of you will help us continue to grow and to build and to strengthen our foundation, to strengthen our scaffolding as we are building stuff to take us into the future. And I especially hope your weeks are full of giggles and light and life. And until we see each other again, friends, take care of yourselves. Thank you. Thank you.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
All right. And at this time, I'm going to invite Matt Craig, the president of Westside's Board of Directors, and Sue Anderson, the chair of our membership committee, to the stage.
Today, we will welcome into our community several new members who have chosen to make a commitment to this congregation by signing our membership book. We are united here in membership and friendship by the bonds of fellowship and service. We are so glad that these people have chosen this community to travel with us on our life journeys. Please come to the stage as your name is called.
Good morning. All right, Joy Houston was born and raised in North Texas and is happy to have found community in Westside. She and her daughter Bridget have both found cherished friends here. They find the spirit and activism of the community inspiring and hope to have a place in it for years to come. Joy enjoys walking her little dog Winnie, who works very hard at clearing all the local waterways of goblins, ghouls, and golf balls. Chelsea Rose Melissa is joining a UU church for the first time. She is looking forward to being part of a community that shares her values. She grew up in Fort Worth, spent the last 10 years in Austin, and is now back in Fort Worth pursuing a master's degree in social work at UT Arlington. Chelsea is an identical twin who loves yoga, fitness, traveling, and politics, as well as all things Disney and Starbucks. She also enjoys visiting the Fort Worth Zoo and the Botanic Gardens. She has a 13-year-old rescue dog named Huck, who is the love of her life. Susie Safi Raffi, didn't say that right. Susie Sassy Raffi has lived in 4 major Texas cities and worked with hundreds of children to improve their reading skills while also serving as a public affairs sergeant in the Texas Army National Guard for 6 years. She grew up singing in non-denominational and Southern Baptist churches. During college, she became disillusioned with Christianity and began seeking truth in a wide range of religious traditions. Recently, she realized how much she missed singing hymns. She began attending Westside with her wife, Roxanne Jones, early this year and found her heart filled by songs, affirmations, meditations, and reflections. She values our openness to diverse perspectives in the search for truth and looks forward to growing together. Wanda Jennings grew up Methodist and gave that up after college. There's a theme here. She and her husband remained churchless for over 20 years. They moved to Boise, Idaho in 1989, and a few years later found the Boise UU Fellowship, which they joined in 1992. She served on many committees, was board president, taught RE, and enjoyed the company of like-minded friends in many church activities. Her husband passed away in December 2024 after 57 years of marriage. Whew. She had many friends in Boise, but no family, so her sister in Grand Prairie invited her to move in. She visited all the UU churches in the area, with West Side being the last one. When she walked through the doors, she felt the warm, friendly community she had given up in Boise, and she knew she was home. All right, one more. Lyle Draper was raised in Fort Worth and has lived in Gillette, Wyoming, and the Cleveland metro area. He was raised Southern Baptist, but at an early age became disillusioned and questioning of all religions. He happily discovered Unitarian Universalism this year and joined Westside in April.
All right, new members. Please respond to the following questions with "we will." Will you bring to this church your minds, imaginations, joys, and sorrows? Will you commit to give your time, energies, and material support? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community dedicated to love and justice? And will you covenant with us to walk together in the living tradition of Unitarian Universalism? Members of the congregation, will you please join me in reciting the congregation's welcome in the order of service? We welcome you to the Westside Unitarian Universalist Church. Your joys and sorrows will now become our own. We recognize your commitment as we have made the same. We also recognize similarities and honor our differences. May each of you find in the church the warmth of friendship, the challenge of ideals, and nourishment for your spiritual and intellectual needs. Together we will widen our vision, renew our strength, and struggle for justice in this community and in our world.
And good morning again. I'm also one of the pastoral care team associates here at Westside. And in our community here at Westside, we make time every week to share pieces of our lives with one another. And we do this because each person in our community has value. Members of our team can be identified wearing a pastoral care team badge. Please submit your joys and concerns to us by completing one of the orange forms that you'll find at the welcome desk as you enter the building, or you can email us at pastoralcare@westsideuu.org, or just by contacting any member of the team. Now, the current members of our team are myself, Jane Hardwick, John Fisher, Barbara Garland, Lisa Franey, and Barbara Crotty. Would y'all raise your hands just so people can see you? All right, good. So we share our concerns first with one another today, knowing that sorrows come into each person's life, knowing that together we offer comfort. And as I read your concern, would you please stand or raise your hand so everyone will know who is submitting it? So the first one, the concern is from Debbie Rake. Way in the back there, okay. She's also on the worship team. She says, this is a concern. She just learned that her best friend from my years in Iowa was badly injured in a freak accident. She was in the hospital for 8 weeks. She is recovering now, but still has a way to go. So please keep her in your thoughts. We share our joys with one another, knowing too that joys come into all of our lives, and knowing that together our voices can raise in a chorus of celebration. And again, please stand or raise your hand. And the first one is from Tommy Hairston. There he is. And Tommy just says his joy is that our congregation is growing, our message of love and is at the center is spreading. Thanks to all. And I have a joy and a concern. The joy is that I had a car accident this week, but not just, gosh, awful, but unfortunately, I'm waiting to hear tomorrow or Tuesday if the car will be totaled. And that's the last thing you want when you're leaving on vacation in 4 days. So if I have to buy a new car, I need anybody out there that has a good suggestion for where to go look for a car. Come see me after the service. I love my Honda Accord, but they're probably going to total it. I don't know. And the other thought is that this last week we lost two people. One person I was going to share, a person that many of us have come to love and hate over the years. As an actress, and if you watch the BBC late night comedies, the Bucket Lady her name is Patricia Rutledge. She was 95 and passed away this week. So we make space each week for musical centering, knowing the life and experience of every person matters. And together our lights shine brighter. As we hold all the joys and concerns among us, both those spoken and unspoken, let us sing together number 396, I Know This Rose Will Open in the Gray Hymnal.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
My name is Jana Peden, a member of the meditation group here at Westside. I will be leading our meditation this morning. Today we begin with a guided meditation by Martha Kirby Capo. Afterward, our bell will sound to signal the start of a minute of silence for your own meditation, prayer, or reflection, and it will sound again at the end. I now invite you into a time of meditation. You may wish to adjust your position, your feet flat on the ground, your body resting easily against the back of the chair, your hands gently open, palms up, resting on your thighs, your eyelids relaxed and half closed, your breathing soft and easy. The day has been muted and gray, the sun hidden behind the scrim of clouds so diffused they seem like the underside of a gauze canvas draped across the sky. The air, neither cold nor warm, is damp against your skin. You find yourself near a grove of pine trees, loblollies and larches, hemlocks and Austrian pines standing off to the side, slightly removed from the path you're on, the direction you're heading, the someplace else you're supposed to be. Step off the path for a few minutes, find a spot under one of the trees and settle in. Notice the patterns in the bark of the branches, furrowed and flaky, bark peels away incrementally from the limbs, like a chrysalis rupturing as new life expands and cracks its protective shell. The needles, dark as new, the needles, dark and green and stiff in mid-stretch, are each tipped with a fat bead of moisture, drops of water not yet dense enough to free fall to the earth. As your gaze softens and sharpens, you notice droplets of water are also clinging to the underside of the branches. How long, you wonder, has it taken this tree to collect the water from the damp air around it? The air is still enough to hear the water collecting on the trees, still enough for you to hear the infinitesimally small sound of a wafer of bark lifting another micron of itself away from the trunk. Inside you, there is a chrysalis waiting to crack and expand open, sheltering possibilities and potential, listening with promises. Soften and sharpen your gaze. What do you see? What is the newness that has taken root in you? How will you nurture it? In the distance, you hear the wind as it sighs towards your tree. In an instant, you are showered with crystalline beads of water twirling free from their embrace of the tree. The branches lightly flex themselves and settle back into place, open, receptive to whatever may next collect along their ridges and grooves. A nuthatch, intently focused and goal-oriented, flits to a spot high on the tree trunk and starts nosing around. A small shard of bark peels off, falling at your feet. Now, take a deep breath. Take another and open your eyes. Your feet flat on the ground, your body resting easily against the back of your chair, your hands open, palms up, resting on your thighs. May we be good company to one another in our questions and our journey. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.
So here at Westside, we practice our UU faith in a variety of ways. And one of those ways is by giving 100% of the gifts in our weekly collection, unless otherwise designated, to support organizations who carry out our transcendent values of compassion, justice, and equality. Westside's plate offering for October is the League of Women Voters of Tarrant County. The LWV Tarrant is a nonpartisan grassroots organization that encourages active, informed civic participation and works to influence public policy through education and advocacy. In addition to members' dues, we rely on support from the community to allow us to reach voters in Tarrant County, ensuring they have the knowledge and confidence to participate fully in our democracy. Our voter guides and presentations on voting rights enable Tarrant County voters to make informed choices at the ballot box. Recently, we joined with the Texas Civil Rights Project and the League of United Latin American Citizens, LULAC, to file a lawsuit against County Judge Tim O'Hare, Tarrant County, and the Tarrant County Commissioners Court to invalidate the gerrymandered, racially biased redistricting of the 4 county districts. Quote, "Our league did not take this decision lightly. We assessed the potential risk to our organization, the importance of our relationships with elected officials, and the additional resource constraints for our all-volunteer, nonprofit organization. We are putting our mission first. Our mission to empower voters and defend democracy means that we must call out the unfair and undemocratic redistricting process, the racial discrimination and dilution of the voting power of members of our Black and brown communities. If one of us is impacted, we are all impacted by the erosion of our democratic principles," end quote. This erosion continues at the national level. Most new citizens are people of color and women. And in late August, U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services banned organizations from voter registration at naturalization ceremonies. The National League stated, quote, "By shutting out the League and other civic partners, USCIS is making it harder for new citizens to register to vote, which is yet another intimidation tactic and attack on the immigrant community," end quote. Voter suppression works in direct opposition to Unitarian Universalist principles and shared values. Please give generously as you are able to the League of Women Voters Tarrant, and if you are giving toward your stewardship pledge in cash, please use the envelopes at the bottom of the bowl as is passed. And so now, let us enjoy this musical offering, and it will be Malagueña by Melody Bobert, performed by Dr. Yuki Kumamoto. We thank you so much for putting into practice the spiritual virtue of generosity. Our giving connects us to the wider web of our community. And thank you also for keeping your stewardship commitment current to keep our congregation's important work going. And now, Tanner Trask.
It feels like everywhere I look lately, someone is trying to make it harder to vote, harder to protest, harder to take part in this great experiment in democracy. Our city government here in Fort Worth, our county commissioner's court here in Tarrant County, our state and even our federal laws all seem like they're being bent toward making it harder and harder to vote. Voter ID, closing polling locations, making it illegal to hand someone a snack or some water when they're waiting in a long line to vote. It's illegal to hand people snacks now. The illegal redistricting efforts that we just heard about. And this isn't anything new, not really. We've been hearing about these assaults on our democracy for decades now. And it just keeps happening, and it keeps getting harder to vote and even speak to our elected officials. I mean, it's just exhausting, isn't it? I mean, at some point, you just kind of got to throw your hands up in the air and say, well, if you can't beat them, join them. Wait. If we can't beat them, join them. Hey, West Side, should we be bad? Can we be bad just like this once? I mean, if these people want to tear apart our democracy, why don't we give it a try? I mean, the next part is theoretical. It's mostly a joke. I don't want to actually destroy our democracy. I'm a good you. We're just doing a thought experiment here, brainstorming, tossing around ideas, seeing what sticks. So, how could we, if we wanted to, destroy a democracy? Well, you could do it the easy way and invade with an outside army, take over the country, and impose your own form of rule. I mean, it's certainly how plenty of democracies have died in the past. Democracies like the ones in South America that elected leaders that the United States government didn't like. But if we're going to be bad, I want to do it with some style, with some panache. Because you can destroy a democracy without throwing a single punch. You can do it completely non-violently. Well, sort of. You're not going to have to throw any punches. I wouldn't have to throw a punch, certainly. But in the process of tearing apart this democratic system, we may need to dismantle some of the social safety nets that are out there. And that would harm a lot of people. And that's not something that we usually consider a form of violence in America, but government policies that limit aid, limit health care, limit food, it is a type of violence if you think about it. I mean, people get hurt and people die. So that brings me to the why. Why destroy this democracy? Well, I mean, at this point, why not? I mean, wouldn't it be easier to help everyone in here if we were in charge? We could take the vast fortunes of the United States, the richest and most powerful country in the history of the world, and we could house the houseless. We could feed the hungry, heal the sick. We could get them to redo the last season of Game of Thrones. We could replace all of those Rice Krispie treats made with marshmallows with the superior Rice Krispie treats made with peanut butter and butterscotch. Okay. So maybe we don't have to do all of those. But, I mean, what a world, right? I mean, if we could just ignore all of the people that we don't agree with, what kind of utopia could we build? Okay, so we're going to destroy this democracy so we can replace it with a better form of government where only we're in charge, and we'll make sure everything is better. And we're not going to do it by invading with an outside force. Where's the fun in that? We're going to destroy this democracy by using democracy. We're going to vote it out of existence. And what could be more you than that? So what's the first step? Well, first, we need to define an us and a them. And we can keep it simple for this thought experiment, because again, this is just a thought experiment. We're not doing this for real. Right? We'll have the us be Unitarian Universalists, and the thems be everyone else. So the second step is to start carving up that everyone else into smaller pieces. And we'll pick one or two groups at a time, and we'll label them as other, as enemy, as non-human. Now, we all know what kinds of people have been labeled other in the past, but we, UUs, are better than that. So we'll pick entirely new groups. It doesn't really matter who they are, and it never has. But right now, there are more of them than there are of us, and we do need to reduce the number of thems so that we can legally take over. So to start with, we're going to need a group that isn't very big that we can villainize. These villains need to be weak enough for us to beat in a political battle, and they need to be strong enough to be seen as some kind of a threat, or even just kind of weird enough to be seen as some kind of a threat. So let's go with people who own lizards. Yeah, why don't you have an American and normal pet like a cat or a dog? And if we can criminalize lizard ownership, if we can remove due process from lizard owners, and if we can get people to report their neighbors if they suspect them of owning lizards, I mean, at that point, even being suspected of lizard owning could land you in jail. And you may ask, what if they can prove that they never owned a lizard? I mean, good luck doing that when you don't have a right to an attorney or access to due process. That's due process, baby, and you ain't got it. Now, I know what you're also thinking. What happens when we lock up all of the lizard owners? There's not enough lizard owners out there that if we get them all in prison, we get to be in charge at that point. And all we got to do is pick a new target. Bird owners. And bit by bit, we carve more people out of the category of them. We create wedges politically, socially, religiously. We teach our children not to trust lizard owners, or bird owners, or fish owners. We make movies about how these outsiders want to destroy our perfect, normal society of dog and cat owners. We pay newscasters, podcasters, and radio hosts to demonize them. And if they want to keep their broadcasting license, they better play ball. Eventually, we'll have enough votes to disenfranchise the rest of them. I mean, they're criminals after all, so they shouldn't get to vote. Only UUs get to vote, and then we can just vote ourselves into power. And at that point, we can get rid of the entire pretense of democracy. And I mean, if we're going to get rid of democracy, I guess we'll need someone to lead. And for this thought experiment, might as well be, I don't know, me? And now, you'll all be able to still get to vote. Of course you will. You're UUs. We'll trust you to do the right thing. We'll trust you to vote the right way. Because if you don't, I might just end up hearing a nasty rumor that you're hiding a lizard or two at your house. That escalated quickly. Maybe it isn't that fun to be bad. Maybe it really isn't that fun at all. But if those tactics sounded at all familiar, that's on purpose. Because those tactics have been used to destroy at least one democratic society so far. Those were the tenets of a German political philosopher in the 1920s that influenced how Hitler rose to power. Now, you know me, I'm a very pro-citation kind of guy. If I'm quoting someone or referencing them or sharing their ideas, I'm going to give them credit. But this time, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't feel like saying his name into a microphone. Now, if you really want to know who it was, come see me after the service. But his idea was to find a minority group, any minority group. Remember, it doesn't matter who it is, just that they are. And target them until they weren't part of the community anymore. Push them out of the community until they're no longer true Germans. And eventually, they didn't even count as people. You know the groups they chose. Jewish people, Roma, people with disabilities, mental and physical, trans people, and more. In fact, if you've seen the famous pictures of Nazi book burnings, you've probably seen pictures of the burning of the Institute of Sexology in 1933. It was the first massive Nazi book burning. And the Institute of Sexology was where most of all of the up-to-date research and healthcare was for trans people at the time in Europe. So targeting trans people isn't anything new. And maybe some of you weren't thinking about the 1920s and 1930s Germany. Maybe some of you were thinking about last year, or last month, or last week, right here. And yeah, me too. But what can we do? I mean, we're just one small church here in Fort Worth, Texas. But we are a church, though, and we are a Unitarian Universalist church, actually. So if the tactic of the people trying to dismantle our democracy means that they're going to try and other people and push them out of our community, then it kind of feels like we're the perfect counter to that. Because what do we do here but build community? And we don't do it by pushing people out. We do it by inviting people in. Radical welcoming. And not by tolerating differences, but by celebrating them. Building the kind of community that we're building here is a form of resistance. So what specifically can we do? Because building community is kind of vague. Now the bad news is that none of us here can do everything. So don't try. The good news is that there's so much to do that we can all chip in and do some of it. Some of us can do kind of the classical political resistance things, go to protests, go to city hall meetings, knock on doors around election time. Sure, that's what a lot of people talk about when they talk about political resistance. And that is an important part of political resistance. If you can go knock on doors around election time to make sure your neighbors vote, please do that. But there is more. There's more that we can do to build a community, to build a resistance to this kind of thing. We can, I don't know, organize a karaoke night. And if you missed the last one, you're going to want to make sure you make the next one. We can share food at potlucks or by getting lunch together after service. Even making someone a nice cup of coffee or a hot cocoa is community building. And if you want to help build Westside's community in this little pocket of Fort Worth, we have a ton of committees that would love your help. Keeping our garden growing takes a lot of work, but the hours are flexible. Taking part in religious education, children's, adults, and both helps build a long-lasting community. And speaking of coffee, helping set up the coffee service, make it, clean up the service station after church is also a thing that helps build community here. And we can always use ushers and greeters to help welcome folks in. We do need radical welcomers if we're going to be radically welcoming. And, I mean, I know we're all busy. We're all caught up in so much else that's going on in our lives. Why add something else to your plate? I mean, you can go to the men's breakfast on the first Wednesday of the month. You can go to the new Caffeine Collective, a women's group that meets this month on Saturday the 25th. You can make people here coffee. You can help in the garden. You can sign up to be an usher greeter. You can help with our pastoral care team. I mean, sure, all of that helps build community. But does that really help in the bigger picture? Does that count as resistance? Does that somehow save our democracy from the people trying to take it away? And it all seems like such a big problem. Can something this small really make a difference? And I promise you that it can. A lot of you youths have heard the story of the Sharps, the married couple that went into Nazi Germany in the 1930s and created the Unitarian Service Community to help Jews get out of Europe safely. That's why we have the chalice as a symbol for Unitarian Universalism these days. We're the Sharps. They needed a logo for the paperwork in Germany, and Germans loved good paperwork, so it's one of the ways they got people out. I've spoken before about Reverend Burkhead's Friends of Democracy program that was instrumental in uncovering and publicizing U.S. religious figures and politicians who were taking money from the Nazis to spread German propaganda in America in the 1920s and 30s. But I'm going to tell you today a different story. And it didn't involve Unitarians or Universalists this time, probably. But it is a story about how building community and inviting people in saved thousands of lives in the middle of World War II. Most of the stories we hear of Nazi-occupied Europe are very similar. The tanks roll in, and soon after, the local populace is eagerly giving up their Jewish neighbors to the Gestapo. I mean, we all know the story of Anne Frank and her family. But in one country, things went a little differently. In Denmark, local leaders were warned ahead of time that Germany was going to start rounding up all of the Jews in Denmark. And this began a campaign thrown together at the very last minute by so many people across the country to get all of the Jewish people in Denmark over to neutral territory in Sweden. Now, there's too many stories from this time period to tell, so I'm just going to do two of them real quick. The first features the actress Greta Garbo, a silent movie star, movie star, who successfully made the transition to the talkies in Hollywood. She knew Sweden needed to officially commit to taking in the Danish Jews as refugees. And the United States wouldn't, and we can talk about how the US government treated Jewish people during World War II another time. But she was able to get another famous person, the famous physicist Niels Bohr, an audience with the King of Sweden. Sweden had agreed to get Bohr out of Denmark into the United States so that he could work on the Manhattan Project, from the Oppenheimer movie. And he refused to leave Sweden, got from Denmark to Sweden, refused to leave Sweden until the Swedish government publicly committed to taking in Jewish refugees from Denmark. And Greta Garbo got him that meeting with the king, and the king agreed. And the government of Sweden officially put out public statements saying, we will accept Danish Jewish refugees. Now, the other story comes from the Catholic Church in Denmark. The bishops there sent out official letters for all of the ministers to read on multiple Sunday mornings. I'm going to get the pronunciation not 100% correct, but a hirdebrev. And that commanded all good Christians in Denmark to assist their Jewish neighbors in fleeing the Nazis. Wherever persecution of Jews is raised as such for racial or religious reasons, it is the duty of the Christian church to protest against it, it said. Regardless of deviating religious views, we will fight for our Jewish brothers and sisters to preserve the same freedom that we ourselves value more than life. What other churches in Europe were calling Jewish people their brothers and sisters? There are so many other stories of the middle class and working class collecting the money needed to buy passage on any and all ships that could get Jewish people over to Sweden. Stories of people hiding their neighbors, helping their children, and just doing everything they can to do something. And of the 8,000 Danish Jews that were in Denmark before the war started, 7,500 were evacuated to Sweden before the arrest order could come down. And of the 500 or so left behind, a bit over 400 were arrested by the Germans. But the Danish government kept on the German government about those 400 people. Through the Red Cross, they continued to press the Germans for their location and their health. And because of that, Germany didn't deport any of them to any of the death camps. So after the war, doing the numbers, 99% of all Danish Jews survived. You know the numbers across the rest of Nazi-occupied Europe. And this only happened because so many Danish people came together and said that these people are our people. They are of our community. They are part of our community. They are not other. They are not separate. They are not them. They are us. So I promise you that this community matters. I promise you that the work you do matters, that the work we do together matters. Westside needs you. Fort Worth needs you. They need all of us to be a place where people can gather, where we can invite people and welcome them in, where we can play games together, break bread together, laugh and cry and sing and celebrate and mourn and, yes, even worship together. So when our government says we need to be scared of trans people, we can say, no, we know them. They belong here. When we're told that criminals don't have rights, we can say that no, everyone has rights. Everyone deserves due process. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. And when we're told to report our neighbors who are suspected of, well, you know, we can say, no, we don't give up our own. So to our longtime members, our new members, our friends, our visitors, and to anyone in our community who is being pushed out by our local, state, and federal government, anyone that they are trying to label other, I say that you are not a them. You are not an other. You're us. So be welcome, rejoice, come in. Blessed be, may it be so, and amen. So you all beat me to the next part. Please rise in body, spirit, and join together in singing our closing hymn, number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in night appear all the same. Gather then peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Our closing words are "The Tenderness That Makes Us Fierce" by Reverend Scott Taylor. May compassion lead us closer to the broken and brokenhearted. May that proximity prove once again that we all suffer as equals. And may those shared struggles give us the courage to act, not just feel, to confront the cruelty, not be numbed by it, to protest, not just offer prayers. May the tenderness of our hearts, friends, make us fierce about fixing the world. Our chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place, and please share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially those you have yet to meet. And now you are all invited to stay after the service today for conversation and fellowship. There will be coffee, water, and sometimes snacks in the fellowship hall. Please feel free to exit through the glass doors out to our garden and enjoy that space, and you can enter back into the fellowship from there to come back in the building. And now please join me in our congregational closing. Go in peace, seeking justice. Go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. Go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. I hope you're glad that you were here today. This was a tremendous service, and it's so good to see everyone. Bye-bye.